What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Writers' Room. I'm Allen Halas from Breaking and Entering, and I am joined, as always, by my River West cohort, host of the Mr. Nice Guy podcast, music director for Breaking and Entering, and just all-around good dude, Mr. California boy himself, Ben Slowey. Ben, how are you doing today, dude?
Hey, man. Good to see you. I'm doing pretty good. Busy day at the office, obviously. No, it's been a lot to dive back into, all things Milwaukee music, but it was nice to have a week away in California and have fun, get some sun. I am approximately 0.2% darker, tanner, I should say.
You're a little less translucent. That is good. Yes, that does help.
Yeah. But no, it was fun. But I was eager to come home. It was good to sleep back in my own bed again. And I'm doing pretty solid. How you doing, Alan?
I'm doing good as well. It does feel like longer than 2 weeks since we've done this, but I swear I think it's only been 2, and it's all right. It's fine. I'm good. I did some traveling as well. I'm still kind of in a haze from Lollapalooza. Not gonna lie, I got back Monday morning and felt completely drained, and then this morning woke up and still felt drained somehow from 4 near constant days of live music and whole great crew and a great party over there. So, but yeah, we've been traveling, we've been out here in the world, and we've got all sorts of exciting things happening in the world of music and Milwaukee music as well. So
certainly, yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know if our evolved brains are I guess developed for such overstimulation, And so when you have a whole weekend or a whole week, like in either of our cases of just nonstop go, being around a lot of people. I mean, you were around way more people than I was, obviously, but it can wear on your senses, and it feels like a hangover for some time,
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday was a level of physical exhaustion that I didn't think was possible. I swear to God, I turned into my kitchen and I almost emptied out my dog's bowl onto my stovetop instead of into the sink because just something in my brain said do it, and I caught myself a second before it happened. But I would have dumped water all over the stovetop. And so that's when I was like, it's been a little much. I had to catch a nap that I thought was going to only be 20 minutes, and it ended up being 2 hours. So
yeah, that happens. Well, you owe it to yourself, man. You got a lot done. Well, is what I'm hearing, and I'm excited to talk more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But first, we're going to get into some music from X Harlow. This is our first video of the week. This is Parking Lot. X Harlow is a dude that I got to see once perform live at Cactus Club for Kelsey Kaufman's birthday. And he is a Brooklyn guy now, I believe, but originated in Milwaukee into all things. This is really Ben's territory, more experimental electronic kind of stuff. And exciting video, though. So
bad good. Yeah, so good. Shout out to X Harlow.
So it's X Harlow with Parking Lot. It's, the Writers' Room from Breaking and Entering.
out in the ceiling, playing colors of moon. Questions on the left on living, no answers are just people and none. No points never thought, right on to the next love. New faces and then new love.
That was Ex Harlow with Parking Lot here on the Writers Room. A unique looking video for sure. Definitely more in the experimental realm. But you know what? It was a fun unique.
Oh, yeah.
It was captivating.
I love that industrial experimental stuff a lot. And I remember when X Harlow dropped that record, I believe it was in November. I was blown away. That was one of my favorite records of the year. So yeah, definitely shout out to X Harlow, Justin Schmidt, for sure.
Yeah, and actually, the last time I saw him, he did not have that hair. He had completely different hair. It was looking like almost like a metal dude, like just long, straight hair. Um, just completely, I don't know. He's out there being artsy.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So we got a lot of exciting things happening here in the Milwaukee music scene. I think we can talk about the biggest one that in our world. Mr. Ben Slowey has announced the return of Mr. Nice Guy Presents, and it is at the Cactus Club September 2nd. So make sure you go ahead, get your tickets while you can. I think there's pre-sale already, right?
Yeah, the link just went on today for buying your tickets in advance for $10. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I like I'm stoked for the lineup too. We got Kyle Kanowski, and then we got Weird Storm. We have Fresher Point, and we have Anton Obvious in the Uncomfortable Moments.
Yeah.
All of all artists that we've covered in the scene in the past before, and I'm excited to bring artists into that venue, which is got to be one of the most important ones,
Yeah.
and have a really unique and vibrant night of Milwaukee music.
Yeah. I think this is your first time putting on a show at Cactus Club, right?
It is. Yeah,
Very cool.
it is.
Very
And where better to do it? So shout out to Kelsey. So much love to Kelsey for giving me this opportunity. It's I always get a little nervous going into it about everything going well, but Alan, you are a veteran of booking shows, so I having you in cahoots makes me feel a little better and more confident into it. But so yeah, I'm excited for those performers. Come on out. We're raising money for the Palestine Red Crescent Society.
cool.
Selecting a different cause to raise donations for with each installment, which will be monthly. Yeah, so Thursday, September 2nd, 7 p.m.
September 2nd. We already got a Facebook comment saying that it's going to be sold out. So those tickets are going fast. It's a hot ticket to get, the Mr. Nice Guy Presents show for sure. Get on that.
Get after it.
And I will say, as a promoter, that feeling of nervousness never goes away. We did Air in the Square, the first installment, and I was very worried that we were not going to have anybody draw, and we had like 150 people there the whole time. It was a great turnout, and the whole time I was still worried about like getting the band on stage was my like main concern. So that feeling I don't think ever goes away, whether you're performing or promoting or doing anything involved with the scene, for sure.
It's like every podcast I would do with Mr. Nice Guy. Like I did it so many times but was still nervous to some extent before every episode. Like, yeah, you're right. That neurosis, there's no cure for it other than to just do it.
Yep.
And this like be present. So speaking of Air in the Square, yeah, I was out of town when that was going on, but it was a stacked bill that you had for
Yeah.
that one. So
Yes.
tell us about how'd it go.
It went really, really good. We were headlined by Wonderful Bluffer. We had Victor De Lorenzo in 1913 opening up for them. Moonglow, which was the first time I got to actually see them live. They surprised the hell out of me. They were so fun, and we had Panoptics. So a real kind of array of like indie rock and alternative rock here in Milwaukee. Let me tell you, Wonderful Bluffer were only set to play like an hour. And I think they played maybe an hour and a half, and we were already over schedule. And you know what? I hit a point where I was like, let them go, let them do
Yeah,
their thing. They had the crowd up, people were dancing, everybody was feeling what they were doing. Um, they kept our crowd from the
oh
beginning of
yeah,
the show till the end of the show. Those guys crushed it. It was absolutely
good.
awesome. So
That's awesome. I had them booked for the Mr. Nice Guy uh, presents at Company Brewing last February. They headlined that show too, and yeah, I had the same similar feeling. I was worried because it was like already 2 a.m. and they were still playing.
yeah, that sounds
um,
that sounds right because that's a band that just loves to play. That's their
yeah,
thing.
yeah, and they fucking rule doing it. They're yeah, no, they have a killer live show. I actually just bought a shirt from them, which JoJo will be dropping off at some point this week.
There you go.
So shout out to the Bluffs that are also wonderful.
Yes, the bluffs that are also wonderful, as they are famously
Yeah,
known. 1913 was great too. They crushed it. All the bands. I mean, like I said, Moonglow was a very big surprise. I liked that you were like, yeah, you've got Victor De Lorenzo. He texted me and was like, you got Victor De Lorenzo, and you also have Moonglow on the same show, like a newer band and a very experienced Milwaukee musician, and that's the kind of thing you get. So
yeah.
I gotta
What do you
say,
think of what do you think of the Panoptics?
Panoptics
They're
were
pretty
really good
awesome.
too. They were a really good start to the show
Yeah,
because they had a little bit of a variety of like there was a couple covers in there, a couple originals, and they did it in a way that like I always say the best advertisement for that show because it's outdoors and it's free is that you can have the band playing and once they hear that music, like the neighborhood comes out and they walk over to
yeah,
the park from their condos and stuff like that. So it was really cool to get them on right on time crushing it. And I mean, it drew a crowd out there. There were people with chairs, people with grills,
yeah.
just having a good time in the park, and that's what it's really all about. So the next installment of that is Saturday, August 14th. We got Yum Yum Cult headlining that one. We got Kaylee Conway on the bill for that. We also have Weird Storm on that one, and I am blanking on the fourth band. Oh my god,
It was
uh,
fellow Kinsmen.
Fellow Kinsmen. Yes, thanks Ben. Look
Yeah.
at
Oh yeah.
him with the assist. I love it.
Huh. I I study bills. You see. Yeah,
I did forget that Ben Slowey minored in indie shows in college. That wasn't
I
a thing.
did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, and it wasn't a program before I got there. I created that department actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. It's weird. You're gonna teach it later next semester, I think.
yeah, I'm
So
actually tenured now. But no, just kidding. Yeah, I've seen all those artists and all great performers. It'll be great to hear some of fellow Kinsman's new material. I know that he's been working on new music for some time now. Uh, Great. It'll be great to see Kaylee Conway bring some of those songs from her Bliss or Bust EP that
yeah,
dropped earlier this year, which is a terrific EP. Yeah, love Yum Yum Cult so much. Excited to hear their new material. And then um
Weird
now I'm
Storm.
blanking. Weird
Yeah,
Story.
Weird
Oh yeah.
Storm. The one
Duh.
that's on your show too. Yeah.
The one that yeah, we're kind of passing them around for sure. Well, because they only had when I interviewed them on an artist spotlight, I think it was like a month ago now. They had only played like maybe a show, I think, before the pandemic. Like, it was,
Yeah, there was like
they were,
one
they
show
were
at River West.
yeah, they were just kind of coming out of the basement from jamming and starting to like be like, oh, we're an actual band now. Let's go play shows. And they've been on fire since shows have been a thing again the last few months. So yeah, they they do play a killer show for sure. So it
Yeah,
is
they're very
it's
tight.
exciting.
They practice together. I got to interview them as well, and yeah, they're just good dudes. Bob is actually part of the crew. The drummer is part of our crew at Air in the Square too, so that helps.
Right.
Shout out to Eric the Wiz, who's on Instagram, saying hey, what up? So just a reminder, we are all over the place right now. We're on breakingandentering.net, as well as Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever social media you're on. But yeah, there's a lot of great music. There's another installment of Mid Coast coming up as well. So we got, I think this is volume 8 now of Mid Coast,
Yeah, yeah,
something like that. And they're
they have
returning
been
to in person in the Cooperage.
yeah, I think this past month was their first one doing that, but I'm always so memorized by the photos that come out after each installment of like the artists who, some of which, like, it's their first time playing
Yeah,
like such a, large scale venue like that, a venue of that caliber, and just absolutely like them being so like, ensnared by that energy and feeling
yeah,
so much passion and like emotion into like having an opportunity like that, and sharing what they do with the world. Like, it's always so awesome to see like the yeah, like that the artist just like really being in the moment like that with each installment. Shout out to Anna Rose, who is the photographer for Mid Coast. They do an excellent job, really bringing those moments to life. So yeah, excited for Mid Coast, and I hope, yeah, this time we can actually go,
yeah.
because we're always
There's,
so busy.
I was gonna say there is yet to be a Mid Coast that Ben and I have been at together, so we may have to make this next one the one that we actually get to.
Did you go to this past one?
Unfortunately, I did not make this past one. I don't even know where I was. I was busy. I was somewhere in the world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just doing
You were
our
in
thing.
some time zone somewhere.
Some time zone somewhere. The Bucks might have still been in the playoffs. I don't remember really.
Oh
But,
yeah.
I was out there somewhere in the world. Uh, anyway, we should get into our second video for this week, and then we will talk about some more great new things happening around the world of breaking and entering and music in general. So we're gonna get into a video from Cozy Danger. This is a fun title. Where are all of my dogs at?
Yeah.
And
I love this video.
if you are a fan of dogs, let me tell you, you're gonna like this one because there's plenty of them. So it's lots of dogs. It's Cozy Danger, and where are all of my dogs at here on the Writers' Room.
I gotta make it up, make up my mind. I gotta choose if I'm gonna go. And now I'm taking
That was that was Cozy Danger with Where Are All of My Dogs At? And
Well, we got one dog right here.
we do. And our broadcast is frozen a little bit, so we'll see what's going on there. But one of our dogs is sitting right here. Rocky is here chilling. Hopefully you guys can see him. We don't know. Ben is the only thing I think that is moving right now. So that's a fun thing that's happened. I
Yeah.
planned for cool technical stuff to happen, and now I don't know. Give me 1 second. Let's see what's happening. Oh boy. Well, you know what, Ben, you are the star of the show now, and I think
Okay.
you're the only thing that is moving at this point. But let
Oh
me tell
dear.
you, there is a cute dog, and he is right behind or he's right in front of the camera, and yeah, it is just a still frame of my face, and it has not changed from it. You know what? This is the power of doing it live. This
Hey,
is
technology, man. It's the worst.
I think like even like everything is frozen, like for some reason.
Let me check on the stream.
I had a cool bit planned and then it just didn't work. That is that is how that happened.
Well, you're still frozen,
Yep.
but I can still hear you and everything. So
It's
uh
good. That's
well,
nice.
this
Well,
is
this is a pickle.
on yeah. Wow, what an uncomfortable
Hey, I'm
moment.
back. I'm back. I'm back. I got it. I got it.
I was gonna say, where's Aunt Sanavius when you need her for an uncomfortable moment?
Yep.
But anyway, I'm glad we're back.
We're back, and we are joined now after Where Are All My Dogs At? By our dog, Rocky. He's hanging out, the unofficial mascot of Breaking and Entering. Eric the Wiz says, "You're doing great, guys, on Twitch." And yeah,
Thank you,
we
Eric the
try. We're a
Wiz.
professional show here, damn it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So speaking of these new videos, there's been an exciting surplus of new music. It felt like July was like kind of more of like a like it felt like things were kind of evening out. Like we weren't covering as much. Like usually, like typically, like on a busy day during quarantine, we're covering 4 or 5 things a day on the site.
Right.
But it was more like like 2 to 3 for a little while in July. But then this week came back and there's all this stuff now.
Yeah.
So it's been a busy week coming back here. Thank you for holding down the fort while I was gone and covering
We're
everything.
trying. I put Rocky on in charge of actually being the music director. So
Well, he did a great job.
he was assistant music director for the day for sure.
Good. We got some of the stuff we got on the site this past week. Well, for one, we've got a new record that came out from Angry Fix.
Yeah.
The progressive dream pop band that we've been eager to hear more from in the last year or so. But that's a really interesting experimental band that I think people should check out. The new record is pretty sharp. We got a new record.
Telethon. It's got a new video from Telethon.
New video from Telethon, new video and single from the new Moses Slaying Troubadour duo, Reality TV.
I did hear that, and I'm excited for that because that is a combination of like everything that Moses has ever been involved with. I've been able to know him from back in the day when he was more like straight boom bap hip hop, and then he got into the little bit more of a clubbier scene. Now he's combining all that, and you have Slaying Troubadour rapping over the top. So yeah, amazing that those guys are collaborating for something great on Higher Education Records too. We got a new video and single too from Murphy K, which that was like while I was gone, you posted that up on the site. But anytime she drops something, I'm excited for it because I think that whole collective that they have, where they all chip in and write with each other and jump on each other's stuff, like that's important to me because it's hard to recreate what the big artists have with all of the extra heads in the room. I'm sorry, my dog is licking himself right now on camera. This is not the stream that we're looking for, bud. You're gonna have to go. Say goodbye. You
Yeah,
just go hang out.
the dogs were able to. The dogs were cool for a little while, but now they gotta go about their days.
Yeah, he quickly turned that into an X-rated stream. But we had no, Murphy K and the whole collective that she has going on with her.
We got a
and
new.
doing some great stuff.
Yeah, totally agreed. Great to hear from Murphy K. We got also new single and video from Carson Taylor, a new young emerging pop artist. We got a new single and video from Mowgli, who it's been a while since we've heard from her, but terrific, fun reggaeton type song about wanting to be loved like you love another person. And then I also want to talk about Mood Migration. You covered the album they dropped.
Yeah, they just showed up on a Mid-Coast, I believe, bill as well, right?
They did, yeah. Well, Mood Migration, I know, like Steph Wetter, who's like one of the chief like kind of engineers, like in charge of the stream of Mid-Coast. That's his duo. So yeah, it was cool to see them actually start kind of making a jump into performances here, because they also did one at Cactus Club too. But yeah, what do you think of that new record?
It was pretty solid, and it's got They Chem on it, and like the combination of those two styles. I like whenever an artist is really finding their sound and really developing that, and you hear that here, because that's when there's the most experimentation, I think, is honestly what it is. And with the ability to create things on the internet the way that you can now, that's kind of one of the things about having a new technology is you can put the experiments out there, and if it doesn't do well, you're not out of pocket. If you took any of these vinyls behind me and said, yeah, we're just going to throw it out there and see what happens as an experiment, if it doesn't do well, you're out money. You might be out your career, honestly, because you've spent all your money and you've given up. So that's what I get out of that Mood Migration, though, is that it's a band or it's a group that's finding their sound, and it's a way to expose They Chem out to the world too. So anytime you got new artists collaborating like that, that's what I hear out of it for sure.
Totally, absolutely, yeah. They dropped a new video also, I know, to one of those songs. So yeah, shout out to Mood Migration. Hope to catch a show up there soon. We also got an album from Peter J. Woods that came out last Friday. And for those that don't know, Peter Woods is one of the more prolific noise artists in Milwaukee. He runs FTAM, the noise label. And I saw him kind of teasing his new album on Twitter a little bit in the weeks leading up to it. And I was really excited to hear it because he was one of the first artists I listened to, like, in the noise scene, and kind of really actually like began to understand like what noise is all about and like why it's made. Like it's more of like a it's like a not so much about like what you standardize music to be, rather than sound as art and means of expression, whether it's pleasant or not. It's the new record is about 39 tracks, I believe.
It's something crazy like that. I did see that.
Yeah. With a lot of interludes where he's like doing like a monologue, but it's like muffled because something's like in his mouth. It's about like, I think the theme is kind of like breaking down like the human experience into like all like, individual components that aren't cohesive. But when you put them all together, that's what makes a human being and a human experience like applicable, which is real. It's some pretty cerebral shit to think about. Because when your thoughts and your emotions don't line up, like you get that dissonance, it's uncomfortable. So I thought it was a really cool thematic experiment there. So that's just a taste of what we got going on in the scene in the last couple weeks here.
Yeah, and there's plenty more every day at breakingandentering.net as well. I mean, tons of great hip hop coming out, tons of great indie rock that's starting to come back out. Um, like I said, I really do feel that this year, because of the last year where everybody was kind of just forced to stay at home and create, now I have a feeling that the music is not going to be, there's not going to be slow weeks at all this year, especially with
Yeah.
the summer. There's no reason not to be now that we got record release shows happening. We have all sorts of crazy stuff happening. Um, Festivals are returning, as we saw. So there's all sorts of nothing but good things, I think. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that everything stays okay. And yeah, I'm excited for the future of Milwaukee music, much of which you can see over at breakingandentering.net. With that said, we are going to get into an artist that has a bright future ahead of them as well, Ty Mystique. This is their new video for "Be Without Me," and it's an R&B track, and I am looking forward to it. So check it out, Ty Mystique, "Be Without Me," here on the Writers' Room.
Don't give me that Gonzalez stuff. He's just a myth.
You know I was perfect, don't you? Realize that I was really worth it, don't you? Yeah, it ain't even worth the drama. Realize you're never working through the drama. I try to explain, I'm tired of the games. You wouldn't back down, I'm over it now. How can you say you want me to stay, then you let me down? Yeah, how did that sound? We could've had a love so perfect. You could've had someone so worth it. I'm really over trying to figure out what love's about. I gotta shut it down. I try to get a hold of it, but you can't ever seem to be about it, be about it, be about it. When you lie to me and you commit, you gon' see how it feels to be without it, be without it, be without it. When there's nothing to wait for, I'll replace it. And I'm all up, no, I can't take it. Try to find another chick, you gon' see how it feels to be without me, be without me. Said you couldn't be without me, no, no, no. Said you wouldn't creep around me, no. Obviously you left me, I don't need apologies. You gon' see inside me, this is new. And you really thought I would be the one to push on you. And you really thought I would be the one that's so confused. I don't have no fear when it comes to losing, wasting all those years. But I'm self-improving, I didn't even cry no tears. In the end I'm never losing, who should be here? I know what I gotta do, I gotta get off of you, I gotta shut it down. I try to get a hold of it, but you can't ever seem to be about it, be about it, be about it. When you lie to me and you commit, you gon' see how it feels to be without it, be without it, be without it. When there's nothing to wait for, I'll replace it. And I'm in love, no, I can't take it. You gon' see how it feels to be without me, be without me, be without
Coming back. All right, that was Ty Mystique. That was "Be Without Me" here on the Writers' Room. We did talk about some of the live shows that we have coming up, but I did also want to point out over on the bottom bar, we saw that during that video. Moody has a release show this Sunday at Cactus Club, and Foxface has a show a Friday night at X-Ray Arcade as well. So two
Yes.
big release shows coming up this week. Whether you like rock, hip hop, whatever, it's there. So
Yeah.
we've made a point to say, make sure you support your local venues. This is two great opportunities to do it. Two of the ones that are hardest hit by the pandemic, I think, as well.
Yeah, and there's a really good show that's also coming up at X-Ray the following day after the Foxface show on the 7th. The Unitaskers are playing with Conundrum, maybe Hazel, and I believe there's one more I'm missing. There's one more, and I'm gonna feel too bad if I leave it out. So
there's indie rock there too. I mean, like that's the thing is now we are at a point where venues are back to booking full weekends, and if you have one in your neighborhood, which you probably do, make sure you get
Bug
to your
Moment.
closest one. Yes,
Bug Moment.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So
yeah, I will be there at that show on
Sweet.
Saturday night. So very excited to see those folks. It'll be my first time seeing Maybe Hazel, and I loved their EP from last year. Yeah, and then the following week we got Moonrats, the psych rock band, coming to the Cooperage next on the 13th. They haven't played a show in years.
Yeah.
Those are some of the guys that were in Calliope.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So really looking forward to that show for sure. So yeah, we got some exciting stuff in the books coming up.
Yeah, I was at Lollapalooza, and now I've been bit by the live music bug again.
Yeah, we didn't
seeing
really
this
talk about that a whole lot. How was Lala overall?
Well, to be honest, it was probably my favorite of the 4 years that I covered it. I have a lot of content coming to Patreon for us. So if you want to support Breaking and Entering, you can do that at patreon.com/breaking and entering. We got a bunch of interviews there. But to be honest, it was probably my favorite one because one, the weather was not as hot. I was not the biggest fan of the lineup going in, but then there was a lot of acts, a lot of young new acts that I was really excited to see. Once I kind of let my ears do the work for me this time. Kind of drifted around from place to place. Discovered Black Pistol Fire for the first time. Ty Verdes. Who else am I blanking on that was really good? Child was really good. Flip De Niro. Like I just kind of let my ears take me from place to place at Lollapalooza this year and tried some new things. And yeah, found a lot of great artists that I want to listen to now. So
Awesome. That's wonderful. Good to hear.
yeah, and I got to give a quick shout out to our hotel crew that we put together. It was myself and a friend, and I got to shout out Stan and Delia, the couple that I was staying with, as well as their daughter Ellie, who went to Marquette with me. It was Ellie and I at the bar, hanging out the first night, and I think we got about 6 of us together, like different people from around the tables and the country actually.
Wow.
And then that grew up to like 10 people, so now we have literally a like festival group chat that is going off with people from all over the country. So things you experience at music festivals, but it made it pretty unforgettable. It was a pretty great time. So
right on. Well, I'm glad you had fun, man. That's awesome.
got me excited for Summerfest coming up too. So
yeah, September Fest more like.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's exciting to look forward to. We've got a whole slew of artists coming in. Yeah, like into the fall, into the winter. So yeah, it's interesting. Like, the pandemic is far from over. Especially with the unfortunate spike in cases, particularly of the Delta variant. So keep wearing your mask. Let's not get carried away, even though it feels like we already kind of have. But yeah, and also get the fucking vaccine if you haven't already.
Yeah, that was one thing I did really like about Lollapalooza was to get in, you had to show either your vaccine card or you had to show a negative test from the previous 48 hours. So they did do their part as far as safety. I know that there's 100,000 people there. I know that it's probably easy to produce a vaccine card, but there were efforts made, and I would love to see. I think the Cooperage is going back to masks for in-person shows right now. I would love to. Nobody knows really what they can do and can't do to protect themselves, but at least the effort is being made, and I think that that's what matters. Is that for right now, people's best interests are there. So yes, get the vaccine, wear your masks, do as directed for sure, because it's not for just your health, it's for everybody's. So
right, exactly. Yeah,
so
we are all in this together, And on that note, I'll hopefully see some people at some shows in the next few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna try and make that Moody show for sure on Sunday. So we will see what happens there.
I think I'll be there too. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that wraps it up for this week's episode of the Writers Room. You can catch us again in 2 weeks right here on Twitch, YouTube, or whatever social media you're on, as well as breakingandentering.net. Don't forget to check out Facebook or check out Breaking and Entering. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. As I said earlier, we got a bunch of content from the festival from Lollapalooza coming to Patreon. So you can support Breaking and Entering on Patreon for as low as $5 a month. Do that over at patreon.com/breaking and entering. Every dollar that we get helps make this thing a little bit easier to produce and pushes us forward and helps give you the best quality content covering independent music, especially here in Milwaukee. So for Ben Slowey, I'm Allen Halas, and we will see you in 2 weeks right here on the Writers Room.
Peace.